Hey everyone, Cynics here, and today I'm going to be doing a little something different. I thought it would be fun to do a little animation video for you guys. So I have this program here. It's Plastic Animation Paper 4.0. It's actually a free program, so you can go download it for free, and I'll post a link in the description below. But anyway, I like to use this program for just making quick little animations, mainly because it's super simple and straightforward, and there's not a lot of overhead or anything. So it's very basic, bare bones animation program. Let's see, you can just draw here and do stuff and blah blah blah, and it'll be great. And today I'm going to be recording this video with live commentary, so it might get a little messy, but I will do my best. Before we get into any actual animating, I'll just go over some of the basic setup stuff for this program, because it's kind of confusing. It just has a lot of icons and things, and you might not know what does what. But for my purposes, I think it's fun to just turn off, first of all, opacity on your brush and just leave on pressure sensitivity. We'll make this a little bit bigger. I like to just have simple lines, very nice and easy. That'll be pretty good. I think this will work for our purposes. Just a nice little jitter on the size and no jitter on opacity. The other thing you're going to want to do is turn on this little light. You might be able to see it up here. But with this light on, that means you'll have a basic onion skinning. And the default settings for your onion skin are kind of lousy. But personally, I think it's only helpful to see the layers before. So I think that's under U2 here, which is like utility number 2. There's a little thing here. It's got a light bulb and a screwdriver. I turn off all these other ones. I think they're all on by default, but I just leave the one on that's right behind the current drawing. So here's our current frame, and we'll leave the one on that's one frame behind that. And that works for me. I don't like to get confused with a bunch of different levels of onion skinning. I guess we could mention utility 4 here. This is where you're going to save your stuff and load stuff and get rid of stuff, start new projects. It's also where you can change the scale and size of your sheet. So I'm just going to leave this as 1000 wide by 600 high. I don't know, it's a weird size, but it'll work for this video. So I think that'll be okay. Anyway, you don't have to worry about most of these icons on the right side. We don't really care about using erasers, do we? We can Control Z our way out of most things. Blue lines, don't really care, don't care. This is the most important one, this little plus sign with an asterisk and a paper. That's the one that lets you create a new frame. So obviously in animation, you're going to want to be making frame after frame after frame. So you're going to need to know how to create a new frame. And that's this little button right here. And alternately, the other really important thing is being able to play back your animation and see what it looks like. And you can do that either playing through it once with this little play sign and an arrow with a line, or what I think is easier is just to loop it as much as you want, because then you can just stop it wherever. And to do that, there's just a little play icon and a little roundy circle. So that's pretty simple. Those are the only things you need to know. Now you can start messing around and animating stuff. Anyway, the thing I'm going to animate for you guys today is just going to be a stick, a nice simple stick. That's a very basic thing. So we'll just draw a stick real fast. Oh, I don't like that stick. Okay, let's angle it back a little bit. So there's our stick. It's very simple. It doesn't have to be pretty. That's fine. We're not going to waste a lot of time on animating each individual frame. And that's kind of the beauty of animation. You don't have to worry about how clean stuff looks for the most part, in my opinion. It just really matters what it looks like in motion. So each individual frame can be super ugly, but if it's animated right, it can come together and create something beautiful. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about how you might animate a stick being swung around. So, if you want to swing this stick forward, maybe you're making a little fighting game, I don't know what you're doing, but your initial kind of idea might be to just go like this, create another frame, create another frame, create another frame. I'm going to be very fast with all this stuff. And there you go. That's going to be our little animation. See? The stick goes forward. Right? That was great, right? No, no, it's not. It looks stupid. Well, if it looks stupid to you, that's good because it is stupid. That is not how you should animate things. You should not animate things in such a simplified, basic level. That's a very stupid way to do things. So we'll stop our little animation there. And let's try that again. So what was missing from this animation? Well, for starters, we didn't return to our original starting point, but that wasn't really the problem, was it? I feel like the main problem was it didn't have any impact or real emotional movement to it. So how can we fix that? Well, luckily, and oh yeah, by the way, if you want to get rid of frames, you can go into U2 again, and there's a little division sign with a little thing, and I don't know what to do, but that's the good one to get rid of them. So there you go, get rid of those. Go back to the start, that'll be fine. Okay, so our first attempt looked terrible. And how can we fix that? Well, we know we need it to be faster. And if you've ever played a video game, you know that it's very important that the startup of an attack or any kind of animation happens very quickly. So for instance, if you wanted to press a button to swing your stick around, you wouldn't want to have to wait all those frames for the stick to get forward, especially if you're getting attacked by some crazy zombie or something. But instead, you want the stick to instantly just be forward. And that makes a game feel very responsive and snappy. So what if we just did that? What if we just make a new frame and have the stick all the way forward right away? How would that look? Let's try it real fast. Well, it just looks like it's flashing back and forth. And you might see this in some kind of lower budget games. Just have the stick kind of flash forward or something. Maybe some poorly animated game where it's just going to flash back and forth. But that's not really that great, is it? So let's think about this again. How can we make it look pretty? Well, luckily, let me get rid of this one real fast. We have an amazing technique called the Schmear Frame. And I know what you're thinking, it's actually a smear frame, but no, you're wrong. We like to put a big old H in there because we smear extra hard. So in order to do a good Schmear frame, there's many techniques and it's going to depend on the individual artist. But I'm going to show you some of these techniques and hopefully we'll learn something fun. But the main reason for these is obviously to create a greater sense of fluidity and emotion in every little thing. So let's give a quick example of what this might look like. Let me see if I can make a nice little Schmear frame of this stick going forward in space this time. And something like that. The most important thing is that our leading edge, which would be this one, this edge right here, is still going to maintain its form and its shape. But obviously, since the object is moving from here to over here, everything that's behind it is going to be getting smeared. So here we go. Just to make it a little more angular. I think it's fun if things have a little extra, little pop to them, a little angle to them. We don't want to make anything too simple. We are artists after all. So maybe a smear like this. Obviously the top is longer because the object is going farther on the top versus the bottom where it's only going from there to there. So that's why the smearing effect is so much longer on the top. But yeah, that looks about right. That could be a good smear. I think we'll make it extra fancy by adding another Schmear frame. But this one won't be going as far, so let's just make it, I don't know, like just a part, like it's just a return of the Schmear kind of effect. Something like that. That'll work. Just keeping it a little simple. We don't want anything too crazy at this time. So it's almost retaining its original form. It's slowly coming back to its original form as the movement is lessening, and eventually we'll see it in its regular form again. So let's see where our stick ended up. So right there, that should be fine. That's our stick. Let's see how that looks. So that's good. It looks a little more snappy. Obviously, it reaches the same action point, this other side of the screen, like it did when we were just doing that little flashy back and forth. So it's very poppy, and now this feels a little bit more like a video game animation, or any animation really. Anytime you want something to occur in a very fast and poppy way. So let's stop that real fast. Oh wait, gotta click the right buttons. And let's have a returning animation because that's also important in certain video games. You want some recovery frames. We need to get the stick back to over here. We can't just have it keep warping back and forth. So let's add some quick frames for that. And obviously the return motion, it's up to you, but I'm not going to make it as crazy or strong as that initial motion. It's just going to bring it back slowly. So we smack and then we bring it back. So let's try that. We'll make it come back very slowly, maybe not too slowly. We don't want to waste too much time on recovery frames. Somewhere like this. Oops. I don't care that much. It really doesn't matter how pretty these things are, to be honest. Let's go like here. And what was the starting position? Let me see. That's somehow our stick got a little smaller. That's fine. Let's see. Dude, it also lowered a little bit. That's not good. Okay. I'm just gonna bring it up a little. In this next frame. We're gonna try to get it back in the starting position. Okay, close enough, I think. Let's try it. Let's play the full thing. So there we go. It's smacking at least forward. The recovery is a little slow, I think. But it'll do. It'll do for the purposes of this little exercise. So kind of has that little lightsaber effect. But that works. So the nice thing about this whole smearing thing is we're getting a nice poppy kind of quick reflex to our animation. So it only takes one frame for our attack to happen. And a lot of older video games where the attacks are very fast. I'm thinking like of a Strider or something, or a Ninja Gaiden. Um, a lot of times you'll just see animations where the sword is basically just here at one point, and then the entire attack animation is just one frame, and it's usually just a giant smear of I don't know, like crazy energy-ness just happening. So you have your little character here, and just there's just a bunch of this in front of him. So you swing it one way, and it does that, and then instantly recovers. So it's just just nonstop big old smearing frames. And that makes it very fast. You could probably get in like an attack for every like 2 frames of the game being played. But anyway, that's one example of a Schmear frame. Let's try another one because there's a lot of ways you can do a Schmear frame, and it really depends on your own personal taste and artistry. So what else can we do? I'm gonna think real fast. We could try something a little different. Okay, here we go. Make a new frame. We still want to wind up in the same general spot. So let's just make our leading edge first. It's always important. This time though, we're gonna use some different techniques. So this is I don't know what these things are called, but we're gonna leave a lot of empty spaces. So it's gonna be a lot of this, a lot of that. These are like little gaps, little speed gaps, I guess we can call them in the animation. Okay. So something more like that, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Okay. So we can do something like this, or, who knows? Could look okay. I got mixed feelings about how this could look, but let's just keep trying it. So obviously we got to lessen this up for this next frame. It's not going to be going. It's just going to be catching up to itself. Okay, we'll try too hard. There we go, something like that. And it'll be fine. Then we've reached our finishing point. And we can recover again. So let's just make our recovery frames. And we'll try to make it a little faster this time. Our recovery was a little bit slow last time. So we'll just quickly come back. I'm using a stick as an example because obviously I can draw a stick very fast. So hopefully I can talk and draw sticks, but might mess with my brain a little bit. Okay. Let's see how our animation's looking. Okay, that second one sucks, I'll be honest with you. I feel like we gotta push ourselves farther. We gotta really, if we're gonna use that type of smearing, I feel like we need to really experiment a little bit more. So let's just try it one more time. We'll stop this, go back to our end, and you can just select which frame you want to go to by clicking over here. So we'll go to our last frame again. Let's just go crazy and we want to wind up like over here or something. So let's just go nuts. I don't know. Lots of nonsense smearing going on. Lines being broken up. We want to break every law of physics as we do this. So there we go. Just non-stop craziness. You can draw nonsense in here if you want. But that looks pretty nonsensical. Hopefully that will work. Let's see if we can make this. Let's just, we don't even need any more like going forward. Let's just have this part catching up to us slowly. Okay. We can actually just make these parts like falling off or something. I don't know. Something more crazy like that. There we go. No, something. I don't know. And let's once again, that's the extent of it. So let's make it back to normal now. Can't even draw the stick. Okay, there we go. Let's return it to its starting pose. Always important to put things back where you found them, especially when you're animating. Always put things back when you're animating. So let's make another frame. Just let's make it a little faster this time. I feel like our return animations are always so boring and slow. That once again, not boring and slow. Well, maybe I suck at that. So anyway, I shrinking it down. I feel like I should have kept the initial starting frame on a different layer or something so I could have found it a little bit easier. Okay, let's assume that's fine. What do we got? Okay, so that third one's a little more extreme. Still not super crazy, but you know, it's fine for the purposes of showing how smearing stuff works. I'm sorry, smearing stuff. So those are a few very basic examples, but the more fun side of making Schmear frames, I feel like, comes when you start getting a little more complicated. What if we wanted the stick to go in a different direction? Maybe we wanted to wind up where the leading edge is like 180 degrees the opposite direction or something. Let's just try something weird now. Let's say here's our leading edge. What if we spin it and flip it over? We can make it more like this. So we can make some kind of little animation where things are turning. We'll see if it works. It might not work. You never know. Obviously, this side needs to come down and around, so we got to think about that. Basically, always see the trailing edge. So this is the leading edge, like that. And we got to have a big trailing edge. We'll see if this works or not. And let's make another frame. Let's just have it spinning a little bit more. You know, it's slowly catching up to itself here. So there we go. That's enough. Just a quick little spin. We'll see how it looks. It might look terrible, but let's just try it a little bit. Nice little recovery frames. Obviously, it barely went anywhere because it just flipped over. But let's see, how does that look? We got our initial ones. Pew. That's fine. It does a little 180. A little 180 spin. Like a little ballerina baton there. That's nice. It's pretty. All right, so that's a lot of fun. Let's see if we can do a couple other quick examples of Schmear frames. So let's say this is our leading edge. Maybe we can bring it down here, like we're just chopping downward. Because a lot of the times we've just been swinging forward in a very unnatural way. Just kind of looks like we're pushing it forward, and that's not really how you would swing a stick. So let's try a more realistic swing. So once again, the leading edge is the most important thing, and then we're just trying to make it look like a realistic uh, motion blur going on. Obviously, not a whole lot going here. It's only moving from here to here. You always got to think about that. How far are the different parts moving? Obviously, this part's moving a whole long way, but this bottom part's not moving that much, so you might not see a whole lot of smearing going on. We can draw a little face in here if we want. Doesn't really matter. It looks like a melted face from the side. That's fine. Find your own abstract art. And then we can just make this get a little bit more contained and shrunken down as we go. Let's see. Do I like that? That's something like this. That's kind of a weird one. Well, we'll try it. It might look okay. So anyway, we swung our stick downward. That's where it wound up. Now we can just hold it back up again. So we always got to return things. Once again, put things back where you found them. That's the rule of animators. Let's make that there. Make it up here. Oops. That was a bad one. Still a bad one. I guess it doesn't matter. Once again, accuracy, not the most important part of being an animator. Okay, and there we go, back to where we started once again. So let's take a look at that real fast. We've got all these animations just building up. So that's kind of funny, just to kind of smacks itself down. It's pretty lame, I'll be honest. It's not the best animations. There's not a lot of like impact going on, which is the main problem. It's a lot of swinging, but not much impact. So it looks a little weird. It looks just a little bit awkward. But I think that'll be fine. For the purposes of our smearing demonstration, it's fine, really. We'll try one more smearing effect because I was not satisfied enough. So let's see. This time we're really going to spin this thing. We had a little 180 spin, and that was fun. But I think we should go like just nuts with it. Just go, where's the leading edge? I don't know. It's just going to completely get lost. Let's just make it go every which way because I think that will that will be more fun. So let's see. We can draw some lines there. Maybe something. The middle part is obviously the least affected by rotation, so we don't got to worry too much about that. But something like this might look good. We'll do another frame. And by this time, it's just going to get super nutty, so might as well just go full-on propeller mode. Start spinning it. Let's see. We want to make a good circular shape here. Something like that. Something like that will work. And we don't got to show every side at the same time, but we want to show at least some stuff being moved around. So it kind of looks like a record at this moment, and that's fine. Can even get more craziness going on. We can just kind of make it a circle at this time. There we go. Something like that. More lines everywhere. Try to picture where the center is. It's getting a little crazy. Maybe another crazier one. I think for this one, it's should it be slowing down yet? No, let's just have it keep going crazy for a little bit. So we're just gonna keep spinning this thing and spin it all around as much as we can. So it's fun. It's fun to spin this around. Okay, so that's pretty good. I don't know what that shape is, but it looks like something. And then we're gonna just keep going. Obviously, it doesn't take much time to make it spin around, so we can just keep going nuts with it. There we go, some frames over here, some little animations there. And I'm trying to decide how long I should keep spinning this thing around. Let's slow it down just a little bit. So let's find our center again. And we'll have all these leading edges going nuts. But we can kind of slow things down just a little bit. Okay. It's slowly returning to the world of physics. We're slowly finding a shape, and that should be a good thing. Let's see. Now it's starting to look more like a scythe or something. Okay. And finally we're almost back. Let's make a new one. Okay, there we go. I think that'll look fine. We just gotta bring it back around to where it initially started, right? That looked a little small, but it's hard to remember what it initially looked like. There we go. Slowly bring it back. Use a few frames. It's fine. We're fine. We'll even give it a couple resting frames here. I'm too lazy to just copy the frame, so we'll just draw it a couple times and we'll be fine. All right. So there we go. Let's take a look at what we did. Lots of boring animations. Yeah, see, that's fun. We got all kinds of little spinning things going on. This makes it a little bit of a fun beginner's animation project. Okay, so while you're watching this stick spin around and swing at things, I would like to note that this video series, and I put series very loosely because, like I said, I'm not sure if I'll do a bunch of these, but it is a viewer participation thing. So if you've learned a little bit about animating, maybe you've never even tried animating before, but I feel like this is a good spot for you to give it a go. So maybe you can try it out for the first time. You can download the program for free. You can just make a little stick, animate around. I'm going to post a image of our starting stick, which will just be a very simple image, but I'm going to post that in the link below as well. I'll just host it on my Patreon or something so you can check it out. But if you're so inclined, I would love, absolutely love, if you tried to take that starting frame and do your own little animation with the stick. Maybe you can make it do a little uppercut. Maybe you can make it twirl around in some unique and fun way. But I'm hoping you do something cool with it. And then I would love to just compile them all into one big animation, much like this one with all these just consecutive stick animations. But maybe you guys will have way more interesting, crazy ideas. I'm probably not going to have time to like compile everyone's name if you do one on there. So I recommend if you do one, just include your name like in the actual animation. So it will just, your name will be showing up when your animation's playing. I strongly recommend that. So you can have your name there and it will just kind of stay there. You know, obviously you don't got to do it every frame like this. It's a stupid way to do it. Damn it, I'm doing the wrong buttons. I'm adding frames. Okay, I'm a big dummy. Uh, but anyway, oh god, I think I just deleted something that was important. Oh god, what am I doing? Okay, I'm just ignore me. I'm breaking everything. I don't know what I did. Okay, but anyway, you might want to include your name throughout the whole thing, just, so people know who did it. But anyway, if you want to participate, just do a little animation and either get it to me through email or possibly, can you post a link in YouTube comments? I don't actually know if that works or not. Can you post an Imgur link? Well, if you can post it in the YouTube comments, post it in the YouTube comments. If that's not working, you can tweet it to me. If that's not working, you can always just email me and I will post my email in the description below. So there you go. That was my little spiel about smearing frames. And I love Schmear Frames, by the way. I think they're the best things in animation. I love to pause animations in weird spots just to see how people are using Schmear Frames. They look very great, and I think you'll like them too. I hope you'll have some fun with it. Maybe you learned a little bit. Maybe you'll find your new passion in life animating. And, it's good to try as many different aspects of the whole art spectrum as you can. So I strongly encourage it. If you've never animated before, just try it out. Don't worry about fancy timing things or whatever. Just worry about where the stick's going in the fastest way you can get it there, looking the coolest way, and breaking all the physics. All right. So I think that's going to be it for this little animation activity video. Once again, please try it out and get your final little GIF to me, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. GIF? Oh, don't start. Okay. And the most annoying thing about this program, I completely forgot to mention, is when you save it, um, you actually can't save it as a proper, gosh, where is it? Okay. You actually can't save it as an animation. I'm sorry, guys. That's the one problem with this program. Look, you can save it, but you can't save it as an actual animation. You can save it as a GIF, and this is just gonna save each frame as an individual one. You can't save it as an animated GIF. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I recommend just saving it as a JPEG series, and then if you're into Photoshop, you can go into Photoshop and just compile all the different JPEGs very simply in Photoshop into a little animation. Or you can save it as an AVI. That could be done, and then convert that into an animated GIF. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm sorry it's not more straightforward. I'm sorry you just can't save it from here. But if you want to participate, I'm sure you'll figure it out. It's not that bad. Trust me. Maybe. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. It's kind of bad. I'm going to save this as stick time, stick animation, stick AA, blah, 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 and save. So that's it for this video. I hope it wasn't too much of a mess. I know live commentary sucks. I'll get back to doing heavily edited stuff in the future. So I hope you have a good time, and I'd like to thank all my patrons for making these silly little videos possible. So have fun. Try some animating. Seriously, just try it. It's good.